Okay, so I just got done telling you that multiplying and dividing fractions was the easy part and adding and subtracting was the crappy part. Well, guess what? Here we go. Remember, to add and subtract fractions, we need a common denominator. And then when we are adding, and we have a common denominator already, okay, that makes our life actually very easy because we just have to then add. So, since the denominator is the same, so I've got 2y, my 2y stays down here. And then on the top, I just put y plus 1 plus 5. Well, I can combine like terms here. So I'm going to have y plus 6 over 2y. And then I have to look and see if there's anything I can reduce. Well, since there's not a y in everything or a 2 in everything, I cannot reduce. So I am moving on to the next question. So again, on the bottom, my denominator just stays the same. I have 5x, and 2 plus 3 is just 5. Well, in this case, I can reduce because there is a 5 and a 5. And I can't just leave it blank. It just doesn't go away. The x does stay as the denominator, but on the top, it just becomes 1. Okay, easy enough. So then, when we have the common denominator, we just subtract. All right, so on the bottom, my denominator is x plus 1, so I just take 7 minus 8, which is a negative 1, and that's all I have. I can't factor out anything, so I'm done. Here, I have my denominator, which is 2x plus 3, because it's the same. Now, this is where you have to be careful. So when there's a numerator and there's subtraction, that subtraction sign is actually distributed out. So I should have 3x minus 4, and then that would be minus 5x, and then minus a negative 11 would actually be plus 11. Then all I have to do is combine my like terms. That would be a negative 2x, and then that would be plus 7. Okay, again, there's not something in there's not a 2 in everything, there's not an x in everything, so I can't factor or I can't reduce anything down. So that's my answer. So far, not so bad. But what happens when I don't have a common denominator? You have to find one. Okay, so I need to think, all right, so what is the smallest number that goes into 4 and 5x, so they both go into? And that's going to be 20x, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and write my denominators down here. So 20x and 20x. And just like I multiply fractions, what do I take at times on the 4 to get to 20x? Well, that would be 5x. So remember, I'm taking it times 1, so 5x over 5x, because anything times 1 it doesn't actually change the number. So 5x times 5x is going to be 25x squared. And then over here, to get my 5 to 20x, I am going to take it times 4. Now remember, it's 4 over 4 because I'm taking it times 1. So 4 times 2 is just 8. So now I have a common denominator, which is 20x. And I've got 25x squared plus 8. Is there anything I can take out of all of those? No, because 2 goes into 8 into 20, but not into 25. There's an x in 2, but not into the 8. So that is it. Okay. I'm actually going to move to the bottom next. So my least common denominator in between the 7 and the x and the 3x squared is going to be 21x squared. So that is going to go on the bottom. So 21x squared, 21x squared is going to be minus. So in order to change my 7x, I had to take it times 3x squared over 3x squared. So 3x squared times 6, that's going to give me 18x. Oh, shoot, I just had just 18x. There's not x squared there. Okay, on the other one, I already had my x squared, so all I have to actually take this one times is 7. So that is minus 14. So my overall answer is 18x minus 14 over 21x squared. There's nothing that is in all three, and I can't combine the top, so that is what I'm left with. Okay, so I think this is actually a little bit easier because on this, you have two different denominators, and in order to make them the same, we're actually just going to do x plus 4 and x minus 7, okay? Which makes sense because it's just like taking x plus 4 over x plus 4 on this one, and on the other one it's x minus 7 over x minus 7. And that is how I distribute. So my bottom numbers, or my bottom, I'm going to go ahead and combine them all as we go. So x plus 4 and x minus 7, so that's my denominator. So this is going to be 3x minus 21. This is plus, which is good. This is going to be plus 2x plus 8. So now I just need to combine like terms. And when I do that on the top, I'm left with what's 3x plus 2x. That would be 5x. What is a negative 21 and a positive 8? That would be a negative 13. And on the bottom, I've got x plus 4 and x minus 7. And I can't reduce anything there. Okay, one more. So again, I can't find anything that's in common with them, so I'm just going to multiply the two denominators together. So it's going to be 4d, and then it's going to be d plus 7. And that is going to be my denominator across. So 4d, and then d plus 7. So on the first one, it's going to be 4d times d minus 5. And then for my second part, it's going to be d plus 7 and d minus 5. Okay, so if you're confused on how I did that, all I did was, since I had the same denominator already, I just added them together, and I just worked with one denominator just to keep it normal, or to keep it simple. Okay, so now what I have to do is I have to distribute and then combine all my like terms. So I've got 4d squared minus 20. Now this one's pretty crappy because I actually have to FOIL it out. So that would be plus d squared minus 35, and that would be plus 7d minus 5d, which is actually plus 2d. And let's go ahead and combine my like terms because I know that the bottom is not going to change at all. So 4 plus 5, or 4 plus 1 is 5d squared. Done with those. Plus 2d minus 55 all over 4d and d plus 7. Now again, you could distribute the bottom, but you don't have to. All right, you're done with your videos. Make sure you get done with all of your worksheets. Make sure you get done with your review and get ready to take the test. And remember, you can always go back if you need to.